Hey everyone, we are here in Lytle Creek. We have our 2024 2.7 liter twin turbo Bronco Badlands edition. And I have Justin here, who is our lead engineer and headed the project on the Bronco build. We took it to SEMA last year, and before that we got it stock from the factory. So Justin, why don't you tell us the first thing that we did with it?
First thing we wanted to do was put the larger wheels and tires on. We went with the 37-inch Baja Boss tires and the Fuel Vector wheels here with the simulated bead lock. And the whole kind of look of the vehicle, we wanted to be a little more off-road and monotone, so we went with like a matte finish on the wheel as well as the matte wrap here.
After you put the bigger tires on, what's the first thing your team did?
Yeah, so in order to get the bigger tires and wheels on here, we had a couple of clearance issues in the front, so we ended up putting our 2.5-inch sway-away compression adjustable coilovers on here to get the ride height out of it that we needed to clear the bigger tires without having to trim and cut anything. Once we got the bigger tires on, we noticed the performance kind of went down the drain, so it was kind of a dog, you know, on the freeway and stuff. We ended up putting a lot of performance products on here. We got our Momentum GT intake system, the Blade Runner charge pipes, our Scorcher GT unit, and our Mach Force exhaust system.
So of course, the first performance product we developed for this was the cold air intake. And I believe we only do the sealed Momentum intake for the Bronco, right?
Yeah, we don't have the open element on this one. It's just the sealed one.
Okay, so that kind of protects more from dust and dirt and all that stuff that we're going to be dealing with right now.
Yeah, it's perfect for this type of environment, as well as, you know, it's got plenty of openings that you're not going to lose performance on the highway either.
Okay, cool.
So,
pop the hood.
Yeah.
So now for the charge pipes. They are aluminum hot and cold charge pipes. Justin, you want to tell me about this particular build with the 2.7 liter twin turbo engine?
Yeah, so this one, when you look in the engine bay here, there's actually 3 tubes that make this up. So there's actually 2 hot tubes coming from each of the turbos into a merge right here, and then drops down into the intercooler. And then the cold side comes up underneath the intake tube here. So you can tell it's really entwined. We had to make sure when we were designing the products that, you know, they would work together and still be able to maximize both of them, as well as work with all the stock components as well. So you could buy the charge pipes with the stock intake or whatever. But yeah, the real advantage that you notice on these charge pipes is when you start adding in the intake and exhaust and everything else, you know, you get more air coming in, more air going out, but then you got a restriction right in the middle. So trying to open up the diameters on all these tubes to help keep that air moving into the engine is, you know, the next logical step on the flow path here.
So Justin was talking about how all of these different components work off each other to increase air. So one thing that we add to all of our turbocharged vehicles is our Scorcher module, which is a Piggyback Tuner. So Justin, you want to talk about what that does specifically and how it optimizes this particular engine?
Yeah, so the unit we have on this vehicle right now is our Scorcher GT unit. It plugs into the existing sensors on the vehicle for the fuel pressure and map, and allows us to add more fuel. So all the other components that we talked about so far, we're adding more air to the engine. So this allows us to increase the amount of fuel and keep that ratio correct. On our GT unit, it has an in-cab switch. So there's 4 different settings, you know, the green being the stock setting, all the way up to a red being the highest, most performance. And, you know, yeah, as you mentioned, it really works well on these turbocharged vehicles.
Yeah, and actually the Scorcher modules for the Bronco are one of our top selling ones, so people really seem to like them. And we also do have a Bluetooth accessible version where you can switch through the 4 modes on your phone and also track 0 to 60 times and all that. So yeah, so we got all the air in. Now let's talk about the air out.
Yeah.
So we'll move to exhaust. Okay, Justin, how many different exhausts do we have for the Bronco?
pretty sure we've got at least 6 of them, different configurations. Like this one here is our catback system, so it's coming from all the way in the front. We sell like this same exact system with the muffler in the back, the 2 exhaust tips, but as an axle back version if you didn't want to replace that front muffler. And then we have our Rock Basher exhaust, a couple other stuff.
So the Rock Basher exhaust is the one with like the extreme high clearance, right?
Yeah, so I mean, if we were really taking this thing out and off-roading up in Big Bear, you know, John Bull Trail, something like that, where we knew we were going to come down on the rear bumper, we wouldn't go with this dual exhaust system. We would go with something like our Rock Basher. This vehicle was really set up more for dual purpose, you know, street driving and a mild off-road like what we're going to do today. And you know, this is fine on here.
Okay, and how does it sound?
So yeah, we can fire it up and take a listen.
Let's see if it's louder than the gunshots. Okay, now we're going to talk about the protection components we have for the Bronco. So we're going to go into the diff covers and the front bumper.
Yeah, so we have on the back of the vehicle here, we have our aluminum Pro Series diff cover. It's got the black finish with the sight glass and the magnetic drain plug and dipstick. That'll help protect the back end if, you know, we're on a trail, get stuck, have to back up and clip a rock or something. We don't have to worry about any kind of damage or anything there.
And on the front here, we have our TerraGuard bull bar. This is kind of a newer product line for us. We started off doing the Jeep Wrangler and Gladiator tub rails, and then we ventured into the bumpers, bull bars, steps, rock sliders, and all that stuff. So Justin, do you want to tell me about this particular bull bar and the components and light mounts it has for it?
Yeah, so this one kind of follows the same design as the one we showed off at SEMA last year for the Land Cruiser. It's got the twin uprights here with the 2 tubes going across. As you can see, we added some lights on the outside here. Instead of mounting them in the middle, we didn't want to block the forward-facing camera. We added some little, I guess, winglets here to be able to bolt on if you're going to run these outer lights. If not, you can remove those and run the light bar in the middle.
Okay, and then does it bolt on right here?
Yeah, so it bolts on right behind the factory D-rings here. This stuff kind of comes off. You sandwich the bumper between the D-ring here and the frame. So it's a really solid mounting point. Not really recommended to pull on it if you're in a situation where you need to, you know, recover the vehicle. But we actually retain the factory hooks here with the D-rings, so you still have real solid mounting points right up front.
Okay, cool. And I know some of our bumpers and bull bars come with skid plates. Did this one, or we're just using the factory skid plate?
On this one, because we tucked up high enough here, we'd actually are above the front of the bumper here. We don't replace the skid plate on this one. But yeah, a lot of our Subarus and stuff where we actually mount underneath the vehicle, we try to incorporate skid plates and other things to help protect it.
Okay, so we told you everything that is currently on the Bronco, and we're gonna go test it out and see how it performs. We also have a few things down the pipeline for the Bronco, Justin.
Yeah, so a couple more items that we're planning to do on this still are the front upper control arms, the rear sway bar on this one, and our rock rails on the side. If you've been following our TerraGuard lineup, you might have seen the rock sliders that we've introduced for the Land Cruiser and some of the Subarus. So that'll follow a pretty similar mounting style and everything, and offer the same amount of protection there. All right, so yeah, when we hit the trail out here in Lytle Creek today, we actually brought out a few more vehicles. We've got basically the truck and the SUV equivalent of each of the most popular small size trucks like this. So we've got our Jeep Gladiator EcoDiesel here, Jeep Wrangler JL at the end here with the 2.0 turbo. Back to the Bronco here with the 2.7 twin turbo. Right behind here we have the Ford Ranger with the 2.3 liter turbo. And then our 2 Toyota vehicles, we've got a brand new Toyota Tacoma with the 2.4 liter and the Land Cruiser with the 2.4 hybrid. Let's follow this guy.
So we found a good spot. We got settled. We had lunch. Justin, how did the Bronco drive?
Yeah, so it actually did pretty good. Sway away shocks on it, gave us plenty of clearance to make it through the trail here. Articulation worked really well, even with the sway bar disconnected and everything. Got the full use of all the travel on it. And yeah, handled really well. All right, yeah, we just want to do a shout out to all of our sponsors that helped us with the build. On the side here, so Built Right Industries with the Molly panels in the back, Pro Eagle Jack, Rigid lights, all the lights you see on the whole front of the vehicle. Mickey Thompson for the Baja Boss tires here. Race ramps for when we're taking this to shows, you know, we got the rocks to pull it up on. Optima battery, so we got the yellow top Optima in here, and red line hood struts on this thing.
Thank you for watching, and to see our full product lineup for the Bronco, whether you have a 2.3, 2.7, or the 3.0 Bronco Raptor, go to afbpower.com. Drop any questions you have in the comments below. Thanks for watching.